All right, man. I just want to say congratulations to the Phoenix Suns and especially congratulations to Chris Paul for finally making it to the finals for the first time in 16 years. I mean, it was a long time coming. I actually never expected, the Phoenix Suns to make it past even the second round. But hey, I mean, they just came in and just shocked the world by making the NBA Finals, and I'm actually pretty ecstatic about it. I'm so happy, although I picked the Clippers to force a game seven, but hey, the Clippers are fond of choking. The Clippers, though. I mean, the Clippers curse is here to stay, and I don't think that, although they made it to the West Finals for the first time in their franchise history, I mean, they were not able to pull it off. But hey, I mean, let me just go through it real quick. CP3 led the Phoenix Suns to the first NBA Finals in 28 years, beating the Los Angeles Clippers 130 to 103 on Wednesday. This was on Thursday where I was. Wednesday night to close out the West Finals in 6 games. So, just to gain some context, the last time the Phoenix Suns were in the finals, it was way back in 1993, the Charles Barkley led Phoenix Suns. So, yeah. And you know what happened. Charles Barkley got beat in the finals by Michael Jordan, the GOAT, and the rest is history. CP3 scored 31 of his 41 points in the second half and became the oldest player in NBA history with 40 plus points in a closeout game. That's a lot to take in because this is a guy, man, who he was written off when he was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder from the Houston Rockets. That the Houston Rockets swapped CP3 for Westbrook. That experiment ended up failing, and NBA fans, NBA media, they wrote off CP3. They just said, this guy's gonna go home. He's gonna go retire in OKC, and his career is over. He's never gonna contend. But lo and behold, this guy, man, he just said that he's not done yet, and this finals appearance showed it. And never count out CP3. CP3 advances to the finals for the first time in 16 years from the Staples Center court, where he helped bring the Clippers to respectively over seasons at the end of 2017. So you can see the Clippers, when he was at the Clippers, much respect to him at the Clippers because he was a big part of the Lob City era. CP3 was that guy who, threw lobs to DeAndre Jordan, to Blake Griffin, Lob City era. I remember those days where I just watched the Clippers game just because of them highlights that CP3 was just dropping on DeAndre Ayton. And yeah, man. But the Lob City Clippers, they never made it past the second round. I remember in 2015, that was the closest time they got. They were up 3-1 on the Houston Rockets. And Josh Smith and Corey Brewer just came in and just flat out dominated, took over the game, and they beat CP3. And they beat that Lob City era. And CP3 never went close again to the finals when he was in the Clippers. But when he was traded to the Rockets in a sign-in trade, I mean, that was the year. I mean, the Rockets had the best record. He had a star player in James Harden. He had a good roster. Clint Capella was there. I mean, they had everything. They had all the pieces they needed to, beat the Warriors at the time because the Warriors are the dominating team. But you know what happened? I mean, the Houston Rockets pushed. They had the best record in the league. They pushed the Warriors to 7 games. But, after CP3's hamstring, I don't know if it's hamstring or his leg injury, just, the captain, he was out, and he just had to see his Rockets just get beat in Game 7 at the home floor by the Golden State Warriors. It was very tough to watch because that's the closest that CP3 was there to, at the brink of going to the finals, and it wasn't that year for them. But, I mean, that was one thing that really pained me. It stung me that time in 2018. I was just watching the West Finals and CP3 just went down. Then in 2019, the Warriors beat them in the second round. I mean, in 6 games, it just felt so. It was just so sad. I mean, CP3 has come a long way. He got traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder. People thought that his career was gonna be over, and there's this stat that the ESPN. I mean, ESPN are just fond of very bad takes, as you can see on the screen. CP3, ESPN just said Thunder have a 0.2 chance to make the playoffs. Let's just let that marinate for a bit. People counted out CP3. They said CP3 was not gonna win with the Oklahoma City Thunder that was rebuilding, but they made the playoffs. They pushed the Rockets team led by James Harden and Russell Westbrook to 7 games. He just did what he had to do. He mentored Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. At the helm, he just did what he had to do. He tried to will that team to as many wins as he can, and he was pretty clutch at that time. But guys, especially ESPN, Mark Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith, they're just very fond of making these horrendous takes. And ESPN just decided to put up this stat 0.2 chance to make the playoffs. So this is just very funny for me, because every time you see a team and CP3 just joins it, you can see in the screen above, you can see the Hornets had a 0.22 win percentage before CP3. CP3 bolstered the win percentage of the Hornets to 0.463%. So you can see the CP3 effect is took hold when he was drafted with the Hornets. When he was traded to the Clippers had a 0.39 win percentage. CP3 pushed them to 0.606%. So you can see, the win percentage just kept increasing. For the Clippers, but the Clippers never made it past the second round, and the rest is history. Then in the Houston Rockets, immediately when CP3 was traded to the Rockets, he took that team to all-star status, and they were top heavy, and that was a team that could compete with the Golden State Warriors team. So you can see the Rockets had a win percentage of 0.67, and then that's before CP3. Then after CP3, you can see the Rockets had a win percentage of 0.793. So you can see, CP3 elevates his team, just make sure that he can push that team to greatness. But it wasn't enough at the time to beat the KD led Warriors with Steph at the helm, with Klay Thompson at the helm, with Draymond Green at the helm. That roster, man, historic. They went on to go back to back, and then that was history, man. Then after the 2019 season, this Houston Rockets and the Thunder, basically swapped CP3 for Westbrook, and CP3's career looked bleak at the point. People said that his career is going to dull down, is gonna be over. Then CP3 just turned that Oklahoma City Thunder team around. He just made sure that he used his pieces pretty well. So the Thunder 0.598 win percentage before CP3, and after CP3 0.611, and also pushed that Houston Rockets team that traded him in the first round to 7 games. So he did something with that OKC team, and he changed the culture of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He made sure that his game improved, and he just made sure that everything that he did was okay. And also, Sam Presti partook in a trade that sent CP3 to the Suns. And the Suns at the time, they went the bubble in the 8-0 run in the bubble. It wasn't enough. They didn't make it to the playoffs. But I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure nobody saw this coming. My bracket was ruined at the time. I thought the Lakers were going to go back to back, but CP3 just stifled all those plans. The Suns at the time had a win percentage of a 0.466 win percentage. Then CP3, although ESPN said he has a 0.2 chance to make it to the playoffs, but hey, CP3 was that guy to, change it up, and he boosted the Suns to the 2nd seed with a 0.72 win percentage. And CP3 clinched the first playoff berth for the Suns since 2010. 2010, the Suns and the Lakers were in the West Finals. That's the only time the Suns were in the finals, in the playoffs. And snapped, and CP3 snapped the second longest active drought in the NBA. So, the only team that has the biggest playoff drought right now is the Sacramento Kings. So for ESPN just to say he had a 0.2 chance to make the playoffs, CP3 is that guy to, prove them all wrong. He took the Suns to the 2nd seed with his prowess, with his point guard abilities, his God-given abilities. I'm just happy to see CP3 in the finals. That's just surreal. Never underestimate the CP3 effect. Never, especially USPN. I know guys like Skip Bayless is on life support. He actually thought that the Clippers are gonna force a game 7 and win it all. But CP3, CP3 is that guy, man. There's a reason why the Suns won the second seed. So I feel like the Suns. I don't know who's gonna match up against the Suns versus the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Atlanta Hawks. We don't know who's gonna make it out of the East, but the Suns have proven themselves to be a legit guys to compete with, and they're none to play around. That's also side note. This is the second straight finals for Jay Crowder. He was in the finals in 2020, and now he's back in the finals in 2021. So that's Jay Crowder, but it's not about Jay Crowder right now. It's about CP3, the man of the hour. He dropped 41 points to seal the win. I actually picked the Clippers to win game 6 to force a game 7, but CP3 thought otherwise, and he just made sure to make this series short in 6 games, Suns in 6. And I'm just so happy to see CP3 back on the driver's seat again. He was a mentor in OKC for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. The Thunder were given a 0.2 chance to make the playoffs last season. This was in the 2019-2020 season, and CP3 led the Thunder to the 5th seed and a playoff berth for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They almost made it past the first round, but they took the Houston Rockets to their brink, but it wasn't enough for CP3. But then he came into the Suns. As you can see on the screen, the Suns had a 10th best record in the West last season without CP3. That time we had D-Book, a couple of guys, Then when CP3 went there, okay, we didn't have a lot of expectations. People didn't have a lot of expectations for CP3. They just said, okay, he's gonna mentor this team, but he's not gonna do anything significant. But boy, were we wrong. The Suns currently, they have the second best record in the West with Paul, and right now as we speak, they're in the NBA Finals. How surreal is that? Nobody saw this coming. I didn't see this coming. I actually I picked the Clippers to beat the Suns, but CP3 is that guy, and that 0.2 chance aged pretty badly for them, for the ESPN. I mean, ESPN just have egg on their face right now, and congrats to CP3, D-Book, Coach Monty Williams. I don't know why Monty Williams didn't win the Coach of the Year, but hey, I mean that's not me to talk about, but I'll just mention it. I mean, he deserved that Coach of the Year. I mean, D-Book just came in. He just flat out dumb. I never saw this side of D-Book. I mean, okay, D-Book, there's this time the NBA media led by, the usual suspects. Chris Broussard. All those guys who, just want to say, just try to, shade up a guy's talent like D-Book. They say that he was dropping empty stats. D-Book should won out of Phoenix. But D-Book just trust the process. He was signed up to that max deal, and when CP3 got into the Phoenix Suns franchise, I mean it elevated D-Book's game, and D-Book is very confident in this game. He's just playing it so well, and nobody expected them to be in the finals. So well done, CP3. I just want to see them make the finals competitive. CP3, I'm just so happy to see him in the finals. He was not in the finals. I mean, the closest he was almost making to the finals with the Houston Rockets. But, that situation with James Harden, the guy who just wanted to break them records. But, hey, I mean, they can't knock anyone with their hustle. If they want to make records in the league, they'll make records. But if they don't want to win a chip, you go to another team that can win a chip. So the NBA thought that they will dump CP3 somewhere. His career will dwindle down. And, his career is not dwindling down. Actually, he has got a lot in the tank. I mean, he is pretty old. He's like, 36. But, his game has aged like fine wine. And he is not stopping anytime soon. So, yeah, man. CP3 in the NBA Finals. It's a long time coming. I know, man. This is just a great moment for Suns fans. I mean, okay, I'm not a Suns fan. I'm actually a Lakers fan, but I'm actually happy to see the Suns. I'm happy to see CP3 and D-Book in the finals. PG, it wasn't a championship or bust year for him. That's the excuse that he made last season when he got beat by the Denver Nuggets. So the Clippers curse is not with CP3. The Clippers curse is now left with Paul George and the rest and the rest of the Clippers franchise. Steve Ballmer is on life support right now. I mean, they can't believe that this just happened. And CP3, well done, CP3. You deserve everything. Make sure you get that chip with either team. But it is what it is. So I'm just happy to see CP3 in the finals. It's a long time coming. So if you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comment section down below what you think about the Suns. And it's been your boy, Dennis Nderitu, live in Nderitu Basketball HQ. And I'm out. Peace.